Today I'm here with, besides I should not call him Mr. So I'm here with Akoji Achimugu. That's he's from the Surveillance Department, Surveillance and Enforcement Department of the FCCPC. And today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, basically. How does a consumer go about seeking redress? You know, how do you petition for, well, I say justice, when you feel like you probably paid for a product or a service and yeah, you just feel cheated, you feel humiliated, you feel all the wrong vibes basically for paying for something as a consumer. I'll start by saying that generally there's something I like to say is we all are consumers. You know, even if you're a manufacturer, you consume. That means that the middle ground for all of us is consumption, right? So let's start by talking about your role here with FCCPC. How long have you been with the board, and how are you finding working with FCCPC in general?
Okay, my name is Akoji Achimugu. I am an assistant director, legal services, but I'm employed right now to the Department of Surveillance and Enforcement.
Okay.
I have been in this role since 2005.
Wow.
And I dare say that it's been very fulfilling.
So we're talking off camera. You said something about the fact that you are consumer centric. You know, can you shed a bit more light on what that means for you?
Okay, I say that to mean that I am unapologetically on the side of the consumer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm just saying that because my time has shown that the power equation is skewed in favor of manufacturers. They have more economic power. They have they have better connects. They have saying that to say that there's a tendency therefore to want to bully the consumer.
Absolutely.
And what we are set up to do is to try and balance the equation to as much as possible.
Okay.
You know, so I'm saying when I say I'm consumer centric, I'm saying that I am always looking out for the consumer. That's what I mean.
I like that. So,
of course. So long as he has a right.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that because I am on the side of consumer, I'll see a clear wrong on the part of the consumer, and then I'm still on his side. I'm not saying if he has a right, he's doing everything right, and then there's an attempt to take away value from him.
Yeah.
Then I'm on his side.
I love that. It comes to seeking redress. Can you give me an example, or can you give us an example of things that we can seek redress for?
Okay, so let me start by saying whatever product or service that you give money for, you should get an equivalent value in terms of the product, what the product should do for you, or what the service should do for you. Now, if you do not get that equivalent value, then there is some wrong that has been done to you that you could seek redress for. And that it doesn't matter how small it is. I mean, I've been on this job and I've had to get the banks to refund somebody as little as 50 naira for the charge that was taken from his account, and he didn't get the service.
Oh wow.
So as little as that. And I always use this as a reference point. There was a member of the House of Representatives that pursued a matter. He bought credit worth 400 naira and he did not get value.
Okay.
Now you can imagine that 400 naira is not a lot of money to him.
Absolutely.
But the thing for him was, I mean, if this happens to me, it's happening to millions of Nigerians on a daily basis. And because they get away with it, nobody does anything about it. And he kept us on our toes until the money was refunded. And so for 400 naira, 200 naira, 100 naira, so long as you didn't get value for it. And like I always say, it's not always about the value, the commercial value of what you're paying for. Sometimes you just do it for the principle behind that says I should get value for my money. Now, if it happens for 50 naira today and nothing happens, it'll happen for 500 million tomorrow, and so nothing will happen again.
Absolutely.
So let's just make sure that they're on their toes, they're making sure that things are done properly.
Absolutely. I love how you just addressed that. I literally could feel, I saw the advocate in you come alive. I tell you, I kid you not, but that's really commendable. Like, Like for someone in that kind of position of power to seek justice or redress for 400 naira, that's to tell you that personally I'm impressed, and that should tell Nigerians that it's not about, like, I would say it's not about your status in community. It's about what you believe. You know, like you said, it starts from 15 naira. Before you know it, it's 500,000 naira, and you know it gets worse and worse. And people feel that they can get away with anything, and they do anything, right? So, okay, so let's go straight to, you know, the reason why we started this interview in the first place. How does a disgruntled consumer go about seeking redress?
Okay, so you could actually walk into our office. Our office is at 23 Jimmy Carter Street,
Okay.
Asokoro in Abuja.
Okay.
You can actually walk in here and write a complaint.
Okay.
So there are people to help you do that.
Okay.
You have an app. You go to your Play Store, Google Store, download the FCCP app,
Okay.
FCCPC app, and then send an email.
Okay.
Okay, to contact at fccpc.gov.ng.
Okay.
We'll receive the complaint, and you would get an automatic acknowledgement from the app, and they will also write to acknowledge.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll take the matter, we'll review it, and see if there is actually a reason to complain, because we've seen people write up frivolous complaints, and so you want to review it first of all and ensure. We want to see whether we're the right agency to handle it, because for example, if it's an administrative injustice, we might as well just send it to the Public Complaints Commission. Okay. If it's fraud, might as well send it to the police, because they are better equipped to handle. Okay, so we want to do all of that kind of review to see, and then if we now find that there are consumer issues embedded there in the complaint, then we will take it up. We'll write to the agency or the company or the manufacturer that you have this complaint against, asking them within a time frame, okay, to investigate what happened and get back to us. It depends on where you got it. If you bought it from a retailer, we'll put the retailer. If you got it from the manufacturer, we'll put the manufacturer. If you bought from the open market, wherever you got. So long as, that's why our basic advice always is try as much as possible, so long as it is possible, to get a proof of transaction, some kind of receipt.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow, okay.
Something that shows that a transaction actually took place. It's very, very important. Now, that doesn't mean if you don't have one, you won't be able to. It just means it helps our cause. It helps your cause as well.
It makes it easier.
So we write to them and we expect them to respond.
Okay.
Now, based on response, okay, we'll also review their response, and then if there's a need to, we could invite both parties, because our law, first of all, wants us to mediate, because the essence of the agency itself is to ensure that commerce thrives. Okay, so we want to be sure that both parties can leave our offices as friends and we're still going to do more business.
Absolutely.
So we want to mediate and say, okay, looking at this matter, you know, there's a problem here, and try and bring the parties to the same place where they can agree on how to live here both happy. Now, that's one possibility.
Okay.
The other possibility is the agency chooses, the respondents who are written to choose, say, well, who are they? I don't even know them, to hell with them. And our act actually criminalizes. It's a criminal offense to either refuse or even obstruct our investigation. It's criminal, and you are personally liable. So if there's a managing director to whom we wrote and did not respond, he's personally liable. So it's a criminal offense, and that is deliberate to ensure that the investigations are not hampered. If you choose not to respond, that is another option where we could actually just choose to prosecute. Reaching to you, if there's no response, we could then summon.
Okay.
The law allows us to summon you, and that is another step in ensuring that we have given you every opportunity to put up a defense for yourself. I'm sure a lot of people do not even know this, that there's now a tribunal that has been established by law, and it's operational right now. That is specifically set up to handle consumer and competition issues in Nigeria.
Interesting.
The reason why I brought that up is because one of the reasons why there's a lot of apathy, like you talked about earlier, is because people feel like, oh, so because of 500 naira, I'll be in court for the next 10 years and all of that.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, because there is this tribunal,
Yeah.
the time has been cut drastically, you know, so you can get redress within a very short time in Nigeria right now for consumer and competition related issues. So
Okay.
just saying that to encourage people.
Yeah, I hope they're here, they're listening. I hope they're listening because so that aside, time is a factor. How about the cost? Because some people will say, "Are you going to be offering me all these free legal services for free?"
Everybody here at the commission is paid by government to render this service,
Okay.
and so it costs you nothing, absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Except, of course, if you are talking about the cost of transportation to come here, or the cost of sending an email, if there is a cost, or that's
So there's no cost.
so
There's no cost for
maybe
that.
cost of data if you're going to download the app or something.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
outside that, it doesn't cost you anything.
Absolutely.
So if anybody at the FCCPC asks you for any money, there's wrong already going on there.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much, sir. This is quite a lot. I don't know about our viewers, but it's quite enlightening for me. You know, I think I would like us to wrap up on this particular note. So there's you know, when you talked about bank charges and the likes of them, I think I've had a couple of my colleagues, like people reach out, and then on social media, the buzz about how some people would just have money being withdrawn from their accounts, like from a particular bank that they you know, they save their money. They will be at home, and before they know it, their money has literally their account has been cleared, you know. And so I was wondering, because this is a reoccurring thing. Sometimes the bank will tell you that you probably left your card at the detriment of someone who saw it, but in some very interesting cases, their cards were never even put online and the likes of them, right? But even if their card was probably used online to purchase a service, would you say, I mean, like I'm trying to get now, doesn't the bank owe a consumer safety in terms of their money?
Let me say first and foremost that online fraud is a worldwide problem.
Yeah.
First, I want to start on that note. It's a
Okay.
worldwide problem.
Okay.
However, there have been cases where complaints have been brought to us where, for example, I never asked for or obtained a debit card. I do not do internet banking. And my money has been taken. Now that's one case.
Yeah.
The other one is where the person inadvertently gives out the information. Okay?
Yeah.
Now in that case, there really is not much anybody can do.
Okay.
Because the best the banks can do is put out the warnings they have put out. Don't give out any information online, walk into the bank. And let me take this opportunity to say, please do not give out any information. There isn't any bank that's going to call and on you by phone to ask you to give any information. If they do, please go to the bank to give them that response.
Yeah.
Walk into the bank branch to give them that. Just say thank you very much for alerting me. I'm going to the bank. Do not even tell them your name by phone.
Okay.
Do not confirm anything. Do not, just say no. Walk into the bank and get the information, and if you need to respond to it, right there. That's it. Because if you give out any information and it is used, the truth is it becomes a problem for you because you gave out the information. Okay?
Yeah.
But where there's a clear case of collusion, either by the bank or its staff, you can rest assured that we will follow it with everything we have. We have technology that can help. We will use other agencies because our law permits us to. We will do whatever we need to do to help that consumer get redress. But it is very important that you have kept your own part of the bargain by keeping your information to yourself. Because once you give the information out, howsoever they obtained it, if once it came from you, there isn't much anybody can do because the information was given out by you. We can't hold the bank responsible if you gave out your PIN number and then the PIN number is used to perpetrate a fraud on your account. We can't hold the bank responsible for that. But we can't hold the bank responsible if they issued you the PIN and then somebody compromised it on your behalf. I mean, if we can see that there isn't any way that you would have compromised it or that the information would have gotten out except from the bank, then we'd hold the bank responsible in that kind of situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Akoji. So, as in everything you said now, just literally paints FCCPC as a consumer superhero, really, coming to our aid at any time when we feel we have been wronged, and, making us feel we're heard, we're loved, and our concerns are valid. So you have heard from Mr. Koji from the Surveillance and Enforcement Units, and also the Legal Department of FCCPC. I don't know if you have any final words to our consumers.
I'll just say to you, please beware and be aware. Beware, be careful. Be aware, get as much information as you can before you give your money for any good or service. And then as much as possible, please make a complaint where you feel that you've not received value for your money.
Thank you so much. I love that last punchline. Make a complaint whenever you feel you've not gotten the value for your money. Thank you so much, sir. It has been such an interesting conversation. I mean, we'll go on and on, but for the duration of this interview, we're really grateful for your wealth of knowledge. So that will be all from us over here. Till next time, it's bye for now.